ancient dragons began thousands of years ago, and the Erdtree capital came under siege.
Oh, it's another
led
illustration?
by a gargantuan dragon.
These are gorgeous.
Named Gransax. The dragons wielded heavenly bolts of red lightning, and so the Knights of the Erdtree learned to fortify themselves against it, and stayed on the defensive until Godwyn the Golden delivered the decisive blow. He stood before another legendary dragon known as Dread Fortisax and defeated him. But instead of granting
Fortisax,
death,
isn't he the...
he showed mercy.
He's
He
one of the
offered
dragons
friendship,
that you fight.
and it was with this act that the ancient dragons and the Golden Order truly became one. Years later, a dire plot was put into action, a plan to kill Godwyn the Golden, so a fragment of the Rune of Death was stolen from the black blade that
Andrew
was designed
really
to
likes
contain
Death
it.
Stranding.
This fragment
our
was
friend
then
Andrew.
inscribed onto a
He's
set
really
of black
into
knives,
it. I've never
which
played it.
the Black Knife assassins would wield, and with cloaks of silver that
Doesn't
fooled
really
the eye, they
interest me
snuck
that
into
much,
the
to be
capital
honest.
and
But I
delivered
do
the
really
first
like the
destined
actor.
death in a millennia.
He was in Walking Dead, and I really like him.
Godwyn should have died a clean, true death, but he did not. Instead,
Yeah, let
as
me
the
know how
mark
it
of
is.
death was being carved into his flesh, it was at that very moment also being carved into another of his kin, the Lunar Princess Rani.
Yeah,
Rani
Expedition
got
is
her
pretty
wish
tough.
and
Expedition
perished
33
in
is
flesh
pretty
alone,
tough.
which freed her soul.
You gotta be
But
like
Godwyn
on your shit a
died
little
in
bit.
spirit alone, and so his body suffered an unimaginable fate. His living corpse would spread a peculiar brand of undeath through the lands between via Deathroot, and wherever there is Deathroot, the hunters
Super
of the dead
weird, but unique.
are sure
Yeah,
to
isn't there
follow.
like a baby you're carrying
There's
around
no
like a fetus or
mistake,
something?
is there? Death has left its mark once again.
Oh, in
I'm
Death Stranding.
sorry.
I'm sorry,
I
not
cannot
Expedition
give you your
33.
proper rights, but at least you did not join those who live in
Yeah, I
death.
feel you.
Your soul
Are you on
will
normal?
return to the Erdtree in time. Ah, a tarnished are
It's your
you?
boy.
I'm known as D. I hunt down those who live
This
in
music
death
is great.
and weed their death root. Heed my warning. The village here
Oh, I love
has
it.
been touched by death, and worse yet, it is home to a mariner.
Yes.
If you value your life,
The
then
mariner.
go no further.
The dead have long been left to wander.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
What they need is true leadership.
They like alert you to
The mariners
danger.
can call to those who live in death and offer them some semblance of guidance, but they make poor
There's my
leaders
big ass sword. I use the same sword.
and even poorer fighters. So it is.
I used a grafted
the dead
greatsword for a long
continue to
time, though,
live
to be honest.
without purpose.
Well, well. Another fool who won't listen to reason, eh? But with a prowess
This is
for
awesome.
weeding Deathroot. I spotted the mark of the centipede here in the village. An ill-omened symbol that should not be. Someone or
I'm gonna need
something
to,
threatens the
Find
sanctity
these
of
songs
the
and put
Golden
them on a
Order
playlist, because they're
and
really
must
good.
be eradicated.
Bam. Boulder View. Or whatever it's called.
D claims to have seen the mark of the centipede in this village, and it seems he's talking about the Deathroot here, which is at the very heart of those who live in death.
Oh, I forgot to
This
give all the death
Deathroot
roots to
carries
that
the
guy.
curse of the centipedal half-wheel wound,
The Beast Man.
which raises the dead from their graves,
I have so many
ordering
of those
their
fucking
bodies
things.
to life, without a soul, without guidance, and without grace.
How would you like to earn the strength of beasts? If you're inclined to hunt more of those who live in death and weed their death root, then I'll introduce you to Garank. I have a matter of my own to attend to, and the beast himself wishes for someone to take my place. What say you?
It is, right? It's sick,
Very
right,
well.
Josh?
Show me your map. I've
You
marked the
actually get it if you
location
finish
for
the
you.
storyline.
It will lead you to Garank, the beast
There's
clergyman.
also a very cool boss
The
fight if you
bestial
do the
sanctum
storyline.
lies past Farum Great Bridge,
One of the cooler
deep within
fights.
the Kaled wilds, past the vulgar militiamen, who are short, brutal mercenaries, and the Blackblade Kindred, who are a patchwork of champions
Oh,
put
fuck
back
these
together
things.
with
Oh my
corpse
God.
wax. They're all here.
There's a couple
in
monster
defense
types in the
of
game that I
Garank.
really fucking
Or should I
struggled
say,
against.
Malekith.
These guys are really
He is
annoying.
Marika's loyal shadow, that once kept the rune of death bound within his black blade. That is, until a piece of that death was stolen. Afterwards, he buried the black blade deep within his very self, so that no one could steal it, ever again.
He's got a couple boo-boos. That's why he has the little band-aid on it.
I smell it. Death.
This guy. Yeah, this is the guy I should have given the rest of the death roots to.
Suffused with the rune of death, Malekith now hungers
His
for
character
Deathroot,
kind of looks like mine,
desperate
actually.
to gather back what he strongly feels are the missing parts of himself.
Tarnished. Bring more death. I shall grant thee eye and claw. Feed me more.
The spells are awesome. Especially if you get the
But there was
claw
a time
talisman or
before
like
the
the
rune
claw
of death was bound.
emblem or
And so
something like
there
that.
were other cultures
You
of
cast
death,
spells through it, but it uses
ways
your
that were
strengths
even
for it.
practiced
Oh.
outside the lands between,
It's a chef's kiss.
where the tarnished lived
That build
in
was
exile.
so fun.
Greetings, great
I don't regret
champion
switching to
called
my
by
Arc
grace.
Dex bleed build,
I am
but
fear.
I do miss that build a
Circumstances have
lot.
compelled my stay at the Round Table Hall.
It made me feel very
Great
tough.
champion,
He kind of looks
Would
like
you
my
allow
guy
me to
if he was in
hold
a
you?
metal band.
but briefly. Ah, my
Yes.
thanks.
Put me toward
You
your
are
bosom.
Very
Tell me
warm.
secrets.
I was known
I did this quest
as a
line.
deathbed companion. Where I come from, after I received the warmth and lively vigor from a number of champions,
Pumpkinhead.
I lay with
That's
the
the
remains of an
other guy was a
exalted
wizard.
noble. To grant him another chance at life.
Spellblade, that's who it was,
To
a
do
Spellblade.
so is the purpose of my being.
His armor
But
is
before
very
I
good
could bear the
for the
noble
build that I'm
into
running.
new
'Cause
life,
it's all those type
I
of
was
spells.
awakened by the guidance of grace and chased from my birthplace.
I actually do wield staves now. One staff makes
Originally, the deathbed
the spells deal more
companions
damage but
existed
take
to
more
provide
mana,
a simple comfort
and then
to
one
those
boosts the
who were
level of
dying.
sorceries or
But
something
at some
like
point,
that.
it seems, it was discovered that a deathbed companion could use the vitality of others to birth dead remains into new life. And so the deathbed companions became a tool, a path to rebirth for the privileged, who told the deathbed companions who to lie with and
But you
when,
are forever
so that
cherry
one
flavored.
exalted being
You're forever
might
red.
get a second chance at life.
Despite all that, I still wish to be a deathbed companion. So please, let me hold you like this, as often as it takes.
But it's not all about you. After all, you are not the only tarnished that fear lays with, and who knows what secrets are shared in her bedchamber.
I love that armor set. Chilling in Stormvale again.
Ah, nice to meet you. The pleasure's mine. Roger's the name.
Spellblade
I'm looking for a
Roger.
little something here in the castle. When I'm not hot-footing it from the troops, that is. But enough about me. What are you doing here in Stormvale Castle? This place is bristling with tarnished hunters, you know. They sacrifice our kind for grafting. Not exactly a place I'd stroll into without a purpose in mind.
That, dude, the introduction to
Many external threats
Godric's
have
fight
laid
was
waste
so
to
gnarly.
Stormvale
I had
over
never
the
seen
years,
anything like it
and
before.
now the castle is marred by mottled thorns that have worked their way through the tortured stone. The soldiers mutter that it's the curse of grafting that causes such an affliction, but some talk of its root being something much more sinister, hidden deep below the castle. That is why Roger is here, on a mission of his own.
See, he's got
And as
a
you
dex
square up
weapon
against
and a
Godric,
staff, but I was
he
double
is
staffing
searching
it.
for the source of the mottled thorns.
But this,
and
he's
he
using the
finds
same
it.
spell.
For the
that I
world
had.
has grown crooked, and if one intends to put it to rights, then they'd
If
best
you ever do an
understand
int build, I
what
highly
happened
recommend
to
this
make
armor
it that
set.
way, no matter the cost.
Oh, that was nice.
The world is slowly being taken over by the death root that is Godwyn. For when Godwyn died, his body was buried in the deep root depths, in what seems like an esteemed position directly below the Erd Tree. This would have been done in accordance with the practice of Erd Tree burial, a process which replaced destined death. For under Marika's Golden Order,
Gnarly.
death exists, but it is not the end, and the roots of the Erd Tree should call to all of the dead in time, reabsorbing them into the great tree where they may one day be reborn. Godwyn, being a great hero, likely received the burial rites that placed him as close to the Erd Tree as possible, but this backfired horrifically, for the roots would instead take up Godwyn's cursed essence, like a tree absorbs water, and spread the mark of the centipede throughout the lands between via Deathroot. So it is that those who live in death were born, and the hunters of the dead would follow.
I serve the Golden Order,
His sword is pretty metal
that I
too,
might
honestly.
put this crooked land to rights,
It's pretty dope.
following only the guidance of the great Elden Ring. Those who live in death fall outside the principles of the Golden Order. Their mere existence sullies the guidance of gold, tainting its truth. And so it is the vermin must be exterminated.
God, it's so annoying that they
Down
come back to
to
life.
the very last.
It's what made me use my holy weapon in the
The
first
hunters
place.
of the dead are fanatics who are glad to have an
His holy
absolute
damage, like,
evil
kills
to
them.
contend with.
They're not
But
allowed
does
to
such
rest.
an evil even exist in the fundamentals of order?
Are you acquainted with a man named Roger? You know, the piteous fellow hiding away on the balcony. He
Maybe.
was a formidable spellblade in times past. Don't let his easy air deceive you. He was wise beyond his years, stout of heart and clear of mind.
Ah, so you've met Dee. Dee is an old friend. We found ourselves journeying together for a time, bound by our exploration of death. But our paths have since
This is
diverged,
made so well.
never
It's
again
awesome.
to cross. Though that's hardly an uncommon fate for two friends.
No more, though. You see him now, ravaged by thorns, muttering and rambling, like he's half dead already.
Couldn't change a thing.
I can't stomach to watch. Take well the lesson, friend. That's how you end up when seduced by those who live in death. When grace is sullied, it rots people from the inside, breaks them.
It was just so gnarly, like,
This is what the Golden Order has been reduced to. Godric, the runt of the litter, dependent
sick.
on the strength of tarnished champions. But Fia's favor is bestowed upon her consorts. It allows them to ignore any aches or pains, for in death there is only peace. For in death there can be no sensation.
Ah, you defeated Godric and claimed yourself a great rune.
one hit.
Looks like we both got
Makes
what we
sense to
wanted out
me.
of Stormvale, didn't we? Well done, friend. Always good to see you safe. So, the misshapen corpse under Stormvale. That is a sacred relic of the Black Knives plot,
creepy
as
as
that
fuck.
famed night of assassination is known. It happened during the golden age of the Erd Tree, long before the shattering of the Elden Ring. Someone stole a fragment of the Rune of Death from Malekith, the Black Blade, and on a bitter night, murdered Godwyn the Golden. That was the first recorded death of a demigod in all history, and it became the catalyst. Soon, the Elden Ring was smashed, and thus sprang forth the war known as the Shattering. I once wished to become a scholar, you see, I've spent many an hour scouring the archives for knowledge of that fateful plot. And that thing is to blame for the shape I'm in now. I urge the utmost caution. Don't disturb the corpse more than necessary.
My dear, have you ever heard of Black Knife Prints? Dear Roger likes to talk of them when abed. And the ancient plot, in which the first of the demigods was slain. The black knives wielded by the assassins who committed the act,
It's a gnarly looking
along
knife.
with the impressions they made, somehow hide the truth of the conspiracy. These grand affairs are hardly my forte.
Dude, one wrong
But
move and you
dear
stab yourself
Roger
with that thing.
began to weep as he spoke. In truth, I've heard tell from someone else about the black knife prints that fascinate dear Roger so, but it wouldn't be right to give this to him, stuck as he is in the round table hole. Perhaps you could make use of it?
With a crudely drawn map in hand, we can find a living black knife, one of many who lurk purposeless in the dark places of the lands between, and D is here to help you.
I am purposeless.
Hello.
Yeah?
You've been busy weeding Deathroot, I take
Okay.
it. I thank you,
Shame me.
as your brother in arms.
The Black Knives were, after all,
Sure.
instrumental in undoing D's beloved order. So here,
yeah.
he takes his revenge, and
Yeah.
you walk away with an imprint
yeah.
of a black knife.
Sorry about that.
This is a black knife print. I can scarcely believe you managed to get your hands on this. Please, I beg of you, lend me the knife print for a time. I'd love nothing more
I'm
than
wondering
to
if there's
tease
any
out its
differences
secrets.
between this and the quest line
Half
that I
my
did.
body has been suffused with death. I'm certain it will help me see. Though only a fragment, a very specific ritual had to be performed to impart the power of the rune of death. Traces of the one who performed the rite are sure to remain in
I
the
like
imprint.
this low
Truly,
tone
you have my thanks.
jazz dungeon
Time
music.
can move rather slowly, stuck here, you know. A little conversation goes a long way.
It's so spooky jazz vibes. Oh boy.
So Roger continues his investigation, and
Yep.
you continue to seek out Deathroot.
Every
waiting
time,
for the
dude.
truth of things. to
Every
be
time,
revealed.
bro.
You are basically put to good use by everyone around
It's
you.
so hard to dodge that attack.
I am pleased to see you again. Would you like me to hold you? Now, come closer.
Yeah, I
You
really
are
like the
so
soundtrack that they chose for this.
Very warm.
For like all of these.
I heard that you lent a hand to dear Roger. He seemed positively
These songs are
elated.
fire.
He must be possessed of great mental fortitude. It anchors his will and sustains him, despite his grievous wounds. You truly are a champion. To dear Roger, and myself too. My dear, might I ask something of you? Could you please find the owner of this dagger and return it to them? A certain person gave it to me as a gift. It's a very precious thing. It must
I
have
can't
a
believe I
special
carried
place
around
in
that
the owner's
that
heart.
blessing the whole
So
game.
I would like for the original owner to have it back, if you wouldn't mind.
It's like what, 5%
This
less
weathered
health
dagger
or something
was
like
once
that?
a special weapon of
Or
gold
10%.
and silver.
It's a
intertwined,
large amount.
Except now it has been worn down and marred by a black gash.
I literally
It's
used it
natural
once.
to think that this weapon belongs to D.
I forget when I used it.
Why didn't Fear give it back to
Oh, I
him
think it was
herself?
Morgoth actually.
Well, what have we here? How did you get your hands on that dagger? hardly matters. I know very well whose dagger it is. Why don't I return it to them for you? Good work bringing this to me.
It's almost as if they're playing a game with the dagger, arguing over whose heart it truly deserves to be buried within. And it's a game that Dee ends up losing. For Fia developed a sorcery to oppose the Round Table Hold, a mist of deathblight that is only effective against the Tarnished, especially if they confront you in a small, enclosed room.
No.
Finally, it is returned to its rightful place. The stolen Hallowbrand of the exalted noble. And now, I must bid you goodbye as well, though I ask you deliver this message to the Round Table Hold. I am Fia, deathbed companion, hark Round Table.
This is her moment.
Disturb not the death of Godwyn, the exalted.
The end of this
We
questline is so
who
cool.
humbly live in death, live in waiting, to one day
Definitely one of the
welcome
cooler
our
quest
Lord.
lines.
What right does anyone have to object?
Especially if you're
Our
into like
Lord will
necromancy.
rise, the
Into
Lord
that
of
death,
the many
Death core, you
and
know?
the meek.
All this time, Fia was getting closer to recovering the Hallowbrand that Dee stole from Godwyn. For this Hallowbrand is the key. It's the curse mark that the Black Knives carved to split death in half, which started all of this in the first place, and Fia has a use for it, while Dee is dead.
D was a real one though.
But Dee is also alive, for Devon and Darian are the inseparable twins. They are of two bodies and two minds, but one single soul. Supposedly, this made them reviled by many, but they found solace within the Golden Order, which accepted their duality of the self. They even had armaments forged to represent their state of being, an inseparable sword and a twinned suit of armor. And these items long to find their way back to the other Dee, who yet lives. Devon slumbers in the Eternal City, tormented by Deathblight,
Yeah, I did this
and
part
it's here
too.
that he is said to have stood before the Prince of Death, suggesting he was the one who carved the curse mark from Godwyn's flesh. Perhaps he even used a weathered dagger to carve it out, and perhaps this dagger was then mockingly gifted to a rotten witch, setting into motion the events that would lead to his brother Darian's death.
It's Mariner time. Yes, what's up, Ruckus? You better believe it.
The Mariners are a joke.
This is our
Making
last
your
one
hunt
for
for the
today, but
spreading
we're about
death-
halfway through. This is The Age of the Duskborn, an Elden Ring movie by VaatiVidya.
An easy one.
It's pretty sick.
It
It's
shows
all
up
like
in
Elden
Limgrave,
Ring lore.
in Leonia, even in the
Really,
mountaintops
really
of the
cool.
giants. And it is most common wherever there is stagnant water, which is a medium
I played
that
like
represents
these quest
corruption
lines too,
and
so
defilement. And the Deathroot infects all manner of creatures who meet
Get
their
to
end
experience it,
sporting
you know?
these distorted pustules of Godwyn's own visage. Deathroot even
hate
starts to
these
get the better
fucking
of
frogs.
Marika's own shadow.
holy shit.
After all, in the end, what we're feeding
Those
him
death
is
curse
now
frogs
much
can
more than just the missing fragments of
not
the Rune of
exist.
Death. Something has changed.
How are you there, Ruckus? How's it been?
Strange. There's something else. I must consume more.
Boom.
Put it away. I won't forget again. Mine
Oh, what is
appetite,
Mechabellum?
my sin.
I hope you have fun.
I must have more.
And
I
enjoy your life.
must consume more. It is all
Oh,
consumed.
interesting. StarCraft without the mic.
Still, I am not sated. Not nearly sated. I'm not sated enough. Is this what it is to sin? Will things never be the same again?
Whoa.
Tarnished. My thanks for thy long labor. But I have done all I can in this land. Henceforth, mine appetite shall be my sole companion. Farewell.
No!
Ah, hello. I was hoping to see you. My examination is complete. Here's the knife print back, with my thanks. Now I have a fairly good idea who performed the rite upon the blade. The person who orchestrated the Night of the Black Knives.
Cool.
Lunar Princess Rani. One of the children born to King Consort Radigan and his first wife, Ranala. Demigod and sister to General Radahn and Praetor Rykard.
One big
Hers was the
happy
name I
family.
discovered in the imprint. If Rani truly is the one who plotted that fateful night, then she should bear the curse mark of destined death somewhere upon her flesh. I would like you to procure it for me. And then all will be laid bare. I will have the answers I have sought for so long. Do you know of those who live in death? These souls have committed no offense. They have every right to life, only they happen to touch upon a flaw in the order. By Dee's account, these defiled fiends must be expunged. But truth be told, I seek the curse mark to save them.
If we're looking for someone to blame in all of this mess, then where do we land? Does the guilt lie with those who live in death, who touched Deathroot? Or with Godwyn, who spawned it? Or should we blame Rani, who thought up the plot in the first place? Personally, I think any fault goes even further back, to Marika, who, in her hubris, thought that she could free the world from death. Death and life should never have been separated, a fact that is more clear now than ever.
Dude, trying to get rid of death?
Maybe I should tell you.
That's
Lately,
definitely trifling. I don't
I
know.
feel I'm on the precipice of falling into a deep, fathomless slumber. And I have an inkling it could spell trouble for you somehow. So I just wanted to get the apology out of the way beforehand. Since you're so scary and all. Well, this is unfortunate. Fies. Godwyn. Full circle forms
No! He was our best friend. He was our bro.
So, whoever can obtain two halves of the curse mark can form a rune. With his dying breath, Roger hints that Fia might be able to use this. And a letter, scrawled by Roger on his deathbed, tells us one last thing. It's that Dee had a twin brother, and that the other Dee might be found in an aqueduct beside the eternal city of Nokron, Roger implores us to put his friend to rest and reunite the twins, which we do by returning Dee's armor. Roger goes on to
This
reveal
fight's pretty
that
brutal.
Devon stood before Godwin, not far beyond this spot, and indeed Devon and the dagger were death-blighted. So we travel a little farther, upwards to a nameless city that's overtaken by roots, and Godwin himself.
Oh, Lord Godwin. Oh, my poor, sweet lordling should have died a true death. A scion of the Golden Bough, sentenced to live in death. How could such a thing come to be? Oh.
Death Staff! Death Staff's cool.
Here, Fia finally
a good
lies
one.
with Godwin, the Prince of Death, defending his being with the sapped strength of every hero who lay with her,
Bonk.
including, of course, the famed spellblade Roger.
Fia's champions, baby. I first tried this, actually. It was pretty brutal. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty brutal. Yes. They hold the power of death. Ooh. Damn, he's OP. It was way harder for me.
There you are. I knew you would come. What is it you intend? To deny us and our ways, like the dogmatic brutes of the Golden Order? You are an odd one. I am the guardian of those who live in death. They call me a foul and rotten witch. Yet you still wish to be held by me?
Yeah.
This is the other Hallowbrand. How did you... Oh, my utmost thanks. With this, Godwin can take his rightful place as first of the dead and claim a second, illustrious life. You are our true champion. And though I can't be of any use to you, can I hold you tight? If only for a moment. I will soon lay with Godwin, and it will surely stir within me the new life of the Golden Prince, and first dead of the demigods, as the rune of those who live in death.
I love
Please,
this armor.
do one thing
Probably
for
one of
me.
my favorite armor sets in the
Brandish
game, to be
this
honest.
child, my rune,
It's very, very
and take
useful,
for
too.
yourself the throne. Stay the persecution of those who live in death by becoming our Elden
This was a
Lord.
fun part of the game.
This is goodbye, my dear, but I am satisfied. I choose to
Is he
lie
gonna
with
show the
Godwin
the
of
next
my own
part?
will,
Probably.
not the remains of one chosen for me, and I will bear a child who will inherit your warmth too. What greater blessing could there be but to be born a deathbed companion?
Now, Fia can fulfill her purpose and initiate a rebirth, a gestated rune that tells the broken story of those who live in death. So, Fia lies with Godwin, and she dreams. But it's within this dream that we
There we
realize
are.
that there is something lurking inside the Prince of Death. A
There we
being
are.
who, even after all this time, never once stopped fighting against the death in their companion. They are the last thing that stands between Godwin and his new life, and here they refuse to let go, for Godwin was a friend, and they were the great ancient dragon, Dread
what is he summoning?
Fortisax.
Remember that dragon that they killed in the beginning? He's back. This fight was pretty brutal too, but I was really over leveled. The dragon fights are so epic in this game, it's hard to like even compare any other dragon at this point to a dragon fight like this now. They're just so fucking cool. Like, I mean, look at this. Death. Nice. Dang. That was cool.
Finally, you can bring the entire broken curse mark itself into order, the mending rune of the Death Prince, which enables his bastardization of life to become an official part of Death's story. But first, you have to burn down the Erd Tree and walk alongside Flame to meet the road of destined death, which leads to Faram Azula, a broken city floating outside of time.
This part of the game is fucking epic, I will say. There's a lot to explore too, and there's
against
many
all
bad
logic,
guys, and one of the
Deathroot now
coolest
grows
bosses in the
here
entire
too.
game.
Turns out, nowhere is safe from its touch, even in Faram Azula, where the true rune of death is still protected by none other than Malakath, who masqueraded as
Oh, yeah.
Drank, so that you might feed him Deathroot and help him to achieve the one and only task that Marika saw fit to entrust him with.
I started this fight and immediately rolled off the side and died. That looks so cool.
Witness tarnished. Why cover destined death? 'Tis no matter. I hereby vow that destined death shall not be stolen again. Cower before Malekith, Marika's black blade.
This fight was cool. I was really over leveled, so like I didn't really feel the pain. But man, he's got really cool moves. I'm sure I will in the next playthrough, because I'm a caster. Yeah, look at how sick this is. Wow, this guy's crazy. What the hell? I don't even know what that weapon is.
Marika, why wouldst thou gull me? Why?
Oh, that's the,
Shit.
I don't know what it's called. They talked about it in the last one. Or the one before that. I definitely recognize it now, I just don't know what it's called.
Prince of Death, take a good long look. See the wrath of the Golden Order, the Order's justice
yeah.
writ in blood. This is what's become of your precious witch. Look at this rotten whore. No more children can be got from this useless flesh. This is a proper death, oh prince. Behold, your mother is dead. This is revenge, you witch, and you ghoul. This is the wrath of D. Ah, hello. The rotten witch is dead. The Golden Order unsullied. Now I can look my brother Darien in the eye. Honeyed rays of gold, deliver my spirit. Darien, honeyed rays of gold. Ah. Don't you dare.
Oh shit.
Unless you want to die like a dog.
I didn't kill him.
Very well.
Oh.
Die. Die. Die.
Damn, he pulled the Overwatch line.
Then you are a blight. A defiler of the Golden Order and murderer of my brother. I'll grind your corpse into the...
Hit him with the old skeletal summon. Hell yeah.
Forgive me. Sorry.
Oh wow, he gave him the death curse too? That's crazy. That was a cool way to end him.
As a deathbed companion, Fia had no choice but to lie with others, until the guidance of grace led her back to the lands between, where she used her chambers in the Round Table Hold to great effect, biding her time, listening to the secrets told to her in private, until she could use the strength of champions to speak for others, for the downtrodden, who had no champion. But soon they will.
Please, do one thing for me. Brandish this child, my rune, and take for yourself the throne. Stay the persecution of those who live in death by becoming our Elden Lord.
Fia has finally lain with the remains of one that she chose,
Watching
so that
these
she might
videos, I
gestate
kind of want to
a new
make a new
beginning,
look for my
called the Mending
character.
Rune of those who live in death, a gift to the undead,
I know
who
I
were
already
born
started
at
the
the
new
very
game
end of an
plus,
age,
but it would be cool to change my
Duskborn,
appearance.
before the sun rises
I
once
know
more
you can do it for
in
free
a land where
at the
they no
mirror.
longer have to hide.
I've been inspired.
The fallen leaves tell a story
Dark Souls 3
of
first,
how
though.
a tarnished became Elden Lord.
And then we'll go back to Elden Ring for a little bit, maybe.
in
While we
our
decide
home
what the next game will be.
across the fog, the lands between. Our seed will look back upon us and recall
This is so sick with the armor.
the age of the Duskborn.
That was sick. It's not even over yet.
Alright, hope you all enjoyed the video. We've now covered 3 of Elden Ring's endings through Prepare to Cry. 4 if you include the first video about Alexander being kind of related to the Age of Fracture ending, which is how I think about it in my head.
Nah, wrong video
And
game.
I'm
Wrong
thinking
game.
the next episode will be the last one based
game, bro.
around an ending. And I'm sure you can guess who's up next. It's time to talk about Rani. Roger did a lot of work in this episode, sort of setting up her story. That's
We
kind
watched
of
this
his
one
legacy
actually before.
in-game, in a way, to set it up.
There's
And we have a
YouTube
ton to work with for that episode.
video up
I'm really
about
excited.
it. 2 of them actually, part 1
Special
and part
thanks,
2.
as always, to my partner on this project, Miss Pap1, who was in charge of all the visuals in this episode, and just look at these shots. They're absolutely
awesome.
insane. It's like watching an in-game cutscene half the time. Special thanks also to Quailag
Miss
and
Pap1,
Swotown for
fucking goated.
debating Dee and Fia's questline with me over Discord, because honestly there are quite a few ways that you can interpret the Weathered Dagger part of that questline, and I hope I did a decent job presenting that part of the video, because it's always really hard telling a story when there are multiple valid interpretations of an event that could all be the right one.
You did
know,
great, bud.
because Prepare to Cry is a series that sort of
Good
relies
stuff,
on me
VaatiVidya,
telling
good
the
stuff.
story fairly
Really good
confidently.
stuff.
Because I don't always want to be saying, you know, maybe Fia got
I
the
learned a
dagger
bunch
from this
about
person,
Elden Ring
or
I didn't know
maybe she
about.
gave it to Darian for this reason, or maybe this, or maybe that. There are other videos where I'm happy to do that, but Prepare to Cry,
I knew
prefer
a
to
lot
have
in this
one
video because I've already.
interpretation,
This was
and
one of the
this is
quest
mine,
lines I did.
but I do want to flag that this interpretation might differ from your own, and that is totally fine. Anyway, I also want to give a shout out to the
These are
artist for the
amazing.
intro, who is John Devlin, and also
John
the
Devlin.
animator for that section,
Animated
who is
illustrations
Xavier.
look
And
incredible.
Together, they created some truly awesome scenes with the dragons and Godwin and Rani, and it's so great to have their help in creating these scenes that we never got to see. So thank you to them for that. And then thank you to my patrons who make commissioning amazing work like this possible. I hope you're all enjoying the early access, the wallpapers, and the exclusive merch. Thank you. And of course, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.